Why? Because that takes a while to do.
Yeah.
And we have to create them. Now let's say that the study group makes a proposal after some many months of helping the community learn, and the proposal is passed, and the study group becomes an implementation circle, like we talked about yesterday. And the implementation circle has created a proposal for what the term lengths and tasks and requirements, etc., are for every role in every circle. Chances are they went to that circle or that working group or that existing functional circle and asked them to gather the data to create the proposal. But let's say that that circle wants to change it. Well, why not? They know more about their work than anybody else. And then they might say, we have changed this. Well, let's hope they got consent for changing it, because that would be what you do.
Okay.
Do you see what I mean? Anka.
Oh, I would have said that before we do this, at the beginning of our meeting or whatever it is, to get agreement that we do this process the way it is in our materials.
Well, wait. If people have passed, I'm using the word passed and approved because it will have been by consensus. If Burlington Co-Housing people in the Board of Directors meeting approves the proposal to try this for a while, that implies they have agreed to do what it is and not some other thing they make up on the fly.
But the person who was objecting didn't remember that.
That's right.
And so it's good to say it before, affirm that we're going to do it the way it's written.
And we can say, because that's what we agreed to in the proposal, that we, the Board of Directors, approved on May 15th, 2000 and whatever. Does that make sense?
Well, I don't know. Are you saying that you shouldn't say it before the meeting?
No, I'm absolutely confirming what you just said. Let me try that again. Not only do I believe we should do that, but we can remind people where we agreed to it. We agreed to it during our business meeting of the Board of Directors on May 15th, 2000, and whatever it was. I'm imagining we're in the future and we approved the proposal to try sociocracy for X number of months. In that meeting, we agreed to use it the way it is designed, meaning, what I'm suggesting, until we may decide to change it after we've done our experiment period. If we want to change it then, at least we will have a basis for comparison. So yes, I'm saying that we should reiterate it before each meeting. Anka, I don't know why you look quite concerned, because I think I'm agreeing with you, but am I being confusing?
It was confusing. Now you said that, yes, we should do that.
Okay.
Does that make sense to you, Gail?
Actually, Anka, I didn't hear what your question was. I'm sorry. So I haven't really been following.
Makes sense to me.
Okay. I think it's because, it's 4:35 on the third day.
I have a hearing issue.
Okay.
And I just turned up my hearing aid, so.
Okay, thank you. Okay, well, here's the thing. We need to help people remember what we agreed to. We need to help them remember we're doing it as it was designed, AKA correctly. We know there isn't any correctly, really, but we're just kind of going along with that, given what we said. Now, let's say there are people in the room on the day, May 15th, I'm just making this up, 2000 and whatever it is, who are looking at this proposal that the SAY study group brings. It's kind of a big proposal, maybe, with multiple steps. And we say one of the things would be to go to the series of trainings that we're going to do on Sunday afternoons for the next da-da-da. I'm not going to the training. Would you please sign this agreement that says, I'm not going to the training, and I agree not to try to stop the facilitator from going through the steps of whatever meeting process we're doing in our policy meeting. I agree, blah, blah, blah. Signed, that person. Remember when we did that at the beginning of the workshop? This is just a little reminder. Now let's say the person says, I'm not signing that agreement. Well, they did read it, didn't they? Because we handed it to them. and they didn't sign it because this is a property owner or possibly a renter. They have property owner or renter's rights. They don't have to do what we agree in our co-housing community. Why? Because it's life on the planet, co-housing. Okay, fine. But we know that they know that we've asked them this. And we know that they know that we may remind them in any given policy meeting in which they are a member that we don't want them to try to stop the facilitator or throw a monkey wrench in the deal. And we can remind them and say it again, gently, courteously, firmly, and immediately. Multiple times, many raindrops make a flood. After a while, the person may get it that, in fact, we don't do that in this system. But I don't like this system, and I'm going to insist that we return to consensus decision-making the way we had it before, when we're done with this damn 24 months or 18 months or whatever. And then we say, fine, thank you. But in the meantime, we've agreed to try it, so we are. So go ahead.
I was just going to say, Joan mentioned the other day that if we can't all agree, that then we do a vote, right?
Are you now talking about the current reality, or if we did sociocracy?
Current. I'm talking about the current.
Okay, so regarding anything now, which is not having to do with selecting people for roles, right?
Yeah.
Since that's in sociocracy, and you're talking about current.
Right.
So why is that relevant to what we're talking about?
It's not.
Okay, great. Let's continue on. All right, any other comments before I tell you some of my hairy stories? I have some.
Oh, I had
Yes.
an insight from, well, both this small circle of doing consenting roles and also my experience at John Buck's workshop, that the concern about people's feelings being hurt isn't as powerful as I would have thought. And my experience is that when you go around and people are just saying positive things about each other, and that's how we're choosing, then even if you really wanted to be chosen and you didn't get chosen, you hear how great, how qualified Dawn is and all the positive things about Dawn, and you've heard positive things about yourself, and it's like, yeah, that makes sense. And it's no big deal because it's no longer just once a year when we choose 3 or 4 people to do really important, powerful things. It's going to be every group is going to make some choices. They're not like such huge, momentous choices. It's like, who's going to, take the minutes and keep the logbook. It's like,
Yes.
You're really organized, I'm really organized, and you have the time, so all blessings on you. It just kind of has that quality to it. It's like, it's not putting me down in the way elections processes can be.
Right. Well, I agree that that is true, although sometimes it's not true. So I'm going to tell you some hairy stories, okay?
Okay.
But first I want to say, when you read the overview article in your handout booklet, which you may not have read yet, the one that says effective, efficient, and fun, when you read that, you'll read the results of Pioneer Valley's survey at the 17-month point. One of the results was that there was an overwhelming choice to keep sociocracy. Not everyone, because 3 people didn't want it anymore. There were only 3. And they could not provide compelling reasons to object. Okay? They discovered that more people were involved in more governance activities than ever had been before, including more young people and new people who previously had not been involved. And they were finding that more of these people were more involved in leadership roles, just like you said, right, because it's distributed leadership. And there's 4 roles in every circle in the policy meetings. Not in the operations meetings, not when we're doing the work, but in the policy meetings, which are operations leader, representative, facilitator, circle administrator. Okay? Circle administrator can take his or her duties and apportion them out to some others. We can combine roles, hopefully not representative and operations leader, but we can combine roles so we can split them up, or we can split up administrator roles. Okay, you'll be hearing more about that real soon. But in the meantime, I wanted us to make sure that we help the people who weren't at the meeting where we consented to the proposal to try it for X number of months, who was at the meeting but blocked or stood aside, and then we had a vote later as our fallback, and then they weren't within the majority, that, you know, and they're disgruntled, that we let them be disgruntled and we move on. And we remind them courteously, gently, and with a lot of empathy each time they bring it up that we agreed to try this. And let's say they say, well, I don't like it. See, they're used to the consensus paradigm. We're saying that is meaningful. And right now, once we're in the sociocracy paradigm, saying that just means I'm letting you know how I feel. It doesn't mean, and you're obligated to make sure I get everything I want, which is that secret belief in communities that I don't know where it comes from, but I see it everywhere. Okay, I think it comes from the consensus paradigm, and when we shift paradigms, we kind of wake up and go, oh, we're not obligated to make sure every single human being in our immediate environment gets everything they want every single time, or else we're a bad community because they're unhappy. And we remember, oh yes, I did go and get born on planet Earth, where, to quote that famous British philosopher Mick Jagger, we don't always get what we want, right? Okay, now let's talk about some hairy tales, all right? This process, more than any other, can bring up hidden conflicts that have been there all the time, that we all know about, that never come up publicly in a meeting. This process will bring them up if they're there. If they come up, the people who don't know much yet about sociocracy can conclude that sociocracy is cruel and hurtful, and then they hate it forever. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yes,
Okay.
I've experienced that.
You've experienced that? Damn in hell. Okay, so it's probably a good idea to name issues ahead of time and help get the care team, the process team, the communication, compassionate circle, whatever you all call, whatever you have, to try to deal with some of those things ahead of time, if possible. But what if not? If not, please write in the section on requirements, has a reputation for getting along well with most people most of the time, or has a reputation for follow through and responsible committee task fulfillment or something. In case somebody that somebody nominates or somebody that the facilitator proposes turns out to be somebody that folks feel obligated to object to. Do you know what I'm saying? So here's a hairy tale. Organization meets online and by phone and Skype because they're not all in the same place. Not the one we both are part of, a different one. I'm facilitating selecting people for roles. The president of this organization has mandated that everybody's using sociocracy, regardless that none of them have studied it except 3 out of the 8 of us. 3 out of the 8 of us know it and love it. 5 out of the 8 of us either don't know much about it, are mildly suspicious, or actively hate it because the person is a consensus advocate and knows that nothing else could possibly be as good. Okay? Those are the 8 people. And one person is known to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. One person is known to some of us as not following through on tasks. Another, I'll make that purple, not following through on tasks. Another person among the group that I'm in that loves sociocracy is greatly disliked by all of these other people. Both of these people are nominated, this person by us 3, for a certain role because of fitting all the requirements. This person is nominated by these others for the same role because, in their opinion, fitting all the requirements. But that's not true. We 3 happen to know this person doesn't follow through on tasks. The others don't know because they've never worked with the person on task where all 3 of us have. Instead, they see this person in meetings who is a shining star of meetings. Not a follow-through person, but a shining star in meetings. We know that this person is real innocent of the reasons they don't like that person. It has to do with the fact that the management of the organization changed about some things unilaterally and never even told anybody they changed things. So that some fallout to that is that when this person says the organization functions like this and this, they're all new to it, right? Except for us three. The organization functions like this and this. They don't believe it because they've been told different. And nobody tells each other what happens. So there's a kind of a false reason for disliking this person. And we three have knowledge that no one else has. This person doesn't follow through, at least hasn't so far. So 5 people nominate this person, and 3 people, us, nominate this person. And I'm the facilitator. And I'm aware of these things, you know? I'm way aware of it. So I proposed this person in order not to terrify, piss off, and horrify those other 5. And then all 3 of us objected.
Say that again. Sorry, I was.
All 3 of them object.
All 3 of us proposed this person. All 5 of these people, including this one, proposed this person.
Yeah.
So I, as the let's say this is me. I, as the facilitator, proposed this person, whom I'll call Purple. And this person was now proposed. And then we had the consent round. And then each 3 of us objected. Why did we object? We each said in the most diplomatic way we could that we knew this person to not follow through on tasks in our experience so far. Whoa, hairy, huh? Now another thing is when each of these people said why they wanted this person, they also said why they didn't want this person. Ew. Ouch. Ew. Basically, the conflict in the group, which was pretty hairy conflict, comes right to the surface. Why? We're using the elections process. Where is it?
It's on the table.
Yeah, it's on the table. Okay, we're using the elections process, and we know very well that it's going to come up. They don't know it's going to come up. They've never studied sociocracy. What the hell are we doing using it if the people haven't studied it? Don't I have this fanaticism that says please don't use it unless you've all studied it and you understand how it works and you use all the parts? Yes! But the president of the organization, who's this guy here, didn't know it or didn't believe me, and he made him do it because he was enthusiastic, and I joined the group after that had happened. And I really couldn't use my fanatical advocacy to get him to quit doing it. I have now convinced them to please not use sociocracy. Let's just use the consensus we all know. That's what we do now. But this was what happened that day. Okay, so all of these people felt honor-bound when they nominated this person to say why they didn't like this person. And when we all objected for that reason, there was a discussion that wanted to happen. So we had it because it was being insisted on, and these people were upset because they thought that we were being bad people for objecting. How dare you object? They didn't know anything about this. Isn't this creepy? Does it make you have the shudders? Okay, so then I said, okay, thanks everybody. We have the objections, and now we'll resolve the objections. Do you mind if I propose a resolution to this proposal, since I'm the facilitator and I tend to know more about this than the rest of us? Well, they all knew that was true, and they said, yeah, go ahead. And I said, okay. Proposal number 2, that this person is the person, and that this person serve as a mentor about certain things that need some help. And that this person pays attention to responding to emails more quickly than what we've all experienced, which is no response whatsoever, to respond more quickly. And when this person travels to another country, they just let us know. I'll be gone and out of email range for a while. And that we don't have the role improvement feedback in this month and this month, but we move this one to 1 month later. We have the role improvement feedback 1 month after this person takes the role, so that we can help this person with kindly, courteous goodwill helps if needed, and appreciations, which will probably also be true, or maybe solely true. And that is the current proposal, that we still have this person, and that we do it that way. Now, they all learned how elections can work, and they all said, ooh, everybody, us 3 and all of them, said no objection, and we elected this person. Several more things happened. This person needed to talk with this person about how come us 3 thought those things. Well, each one of us had in person talked to this person about those issues prior to this whole election, when we were in person a few months previously, but still had to work it out. And she said, I'll help you all I can. Let me just mentor you. This person is way young. This person is my age. And she totally was qualified for this role. I knew exactly how to help her do it. Meanwhile, she realized she didn't want to do it at all anyway. So it was like a aha moment for her. Meanwhile, some of these people who were mad at her ended up having phone calls and connections outside of the meeting to figure out what happened and to try to resolve and make a better connection. So it all turned out good. But do you see what an awful thing it can be to use sociocracy when you're not trained in it, or to use this on a live issue when you're not trained? Does that make sense? Any questions about that little hairy tale?
I'm assuming you're going to talk to us about role improvement feedback shortly.
Here's another hairy tale. Big, famous, venerable community. They're thinking of using sociocracy. Their famous, beloved facilitator is going to facilitate sociocracy elections, which they have not been trained in. John Buck is their advisor. And some of them have had some sociocracy training and some exposure to it. Others have not. Some have some. And the people there include management and workers. Well, that's the way it is, even though it's an intentional community. They got a business, and they have management and workers, really. Okay, so this beloved facilitator calls John and says, I'm going to teach him how to do the elections. Then we're going to select somebody for an extremely important role that we highly coveted. And John thought to himself, holy mackerel, don't do it. It's a live issue, it's highly controversial. You've already got management and staff mad at each other, don't do it. But he didn't follow through with his impulse to insist. He told me this later. Instead, he went along with her